Welcome everyone to Midwest Madness Thrills and Spills 2. We've got 32 of our fastest diecast monster trucks looking to become the champion. All eyes are on Rudy, Zilogy, and Rage looking to make it 2 in a row. Thrills and Spills 2. It has been a full year of insane diecast monster truck racing. Thank you everyone for joining us. Buckle up. This is our craziest show yet. Can Rage hold on? Find out next. Kicking off the first round here at Midwest Madness Thrills and Spills 2. First here in the near lane, we got Spooky driving the Mystery Machine. He's had tough luck so far on the circuit, but he's looking to turn his luck around here tonight. He is set to take on Violet Craddock over there in the far lane, driving the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. She has looked great in that truck so far. Both drivers are on the green light, and Mystery Machine gets out to a slight lead. Monster Mutt rolls over bad. Violet Craddock was trying to chase him down. It looked like the Mystery Machine got the win. What an upset by Spooky. And yes, the Mystery Machine is moving on to round 2. Coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got Krista Roberts, the sassy Southern Belle, out of Wild West Racing, driving the Scarlet Bandit. She is staged ready to go. She is set to take on Jimmy Bones Ferguson, driving his Avenger Fire. He built that truck himself down in Florida, sent it up here to Midwest Madness. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Scarlet Bandit gets out to a slight lead. Avenger's coming back. Whoa! Both trucks finished door handle to door handle at the finish line. They were right there with each other. Definitely have to check the replay there. Avenger made up a lot of ground, but gets a lot of air over the bus stack there at the end. That might have cost him the race. Krista ran a perfect race there. Wow, what a run from both trucks. Scarlet Bandit gets the win. Barely. Jamie will be back. What a race. And coming up next, this is going to be a good one right here. We got 2 former Midwest Madness champions going at it. First here in the near lane is James Valencourt out of K&J Motorsports driving the Equalizer. He is set to take on Shaggy, Matt Cheever driving Gravedigger the Legend over there in the far lane. 2 one-time champions trying to take it to round 2, waiting on the green light. And they're off the line evenly. Gravedigger the Legend might have had a slight lead. He goes end over the bus deck. What a crazy crash from Gravedigger the Legend. James was trying to chase him down. It looked like Cheever got the win. But let's take another look at that. What a great start from the light for Matt Cheever, but he goes end over the bus stack. What a crazy crash that was. What a good effort from James. He was chasing him down, made up a lot of ground, but Matt Cheever is moving on. Heading down to the track, the Midwest Madness track crew's down there to flip over Gravedigger the Legend. He did get the win, but at what cost? His team is going to have their hands full trying to get him back for round 2. If for whatever reason he cannot make the call, James Valencourt and Equalizer will come back. But as of right now, Gravedigger the Legend is moving on. Look at that damage. Coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got the Gunslinger, Roland Cantwell out of Wild West Racing, driving Iron Outlaw. He is staged and ready to go, set to take on the Iceman, Jeffrey Skipper over there in the far lane, driving the U.S. Air Force Afterburner. Both trucks are hungry for a spot in round 2, waiting on the green light. And Iron Outlaw gets off the line first, but Jeffrey Skipper made up a lot of ground. He gets some insane air over there in the far lane. Did he come back? Iron Outlaw got the jump off the line. What a good run by both trucks. Wow, look at that air in the far lane from Jeffrey. Let's take one more look at that. A good effort by both trucks. Still can't call it. Jeffrey might have come back there. That is just still too close to call. I'd say Iron Outlaw barely got it, and yes, he did. Wow. Some insane air by Jeffrey. He will be back. And coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got Hunter Cradock driving the Bulldozer. He's looked pretty good the last couple months. Definitely looking for his breakthrough here tonight, but he is set to take on Kieran Adams driving his brand new, the Incredible Hulk. He looked good last month in that truck too. Both drivers looking for a breakthrough here tonight. And they're even off the line. What a race. Whoa. Bulldozer gets on two wheels there at the end of the track. Both trucks cross the finish line virtually identical. We'll have to take a look at the replay. That is just too close. Both trucks get off the line at the exact same time. What a smooth pass by both trucks. Unbelievable. Did Bulldozer sneak in there and get that win? Take one more look at it here. What a race. Kieran was right there with him. Still can't call it. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. What a smooth run by both trucks. That is just so close to call. And it's going to be a draw. Both trucks cross the line at the exact same time, and we're going to rerun the race. And in the result of a draw, both drivers are back up at the starting line. Kieran is in the near lane. Hunter's in the far lane. We must crown a winner. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And it's another good race. Both drivers finish door handle to door handle again. Too close to call. Hunter backs off the RV there. Too close to call. Kieran rolls over. What a race. Both trucks are giving everything they got. Both drivers are looking undeniable here tonight. Wow. Pretty much the exact same run both trucks had last race, but opposite lanes. It looked like a slight lead to Kieran Adams, and he might have just barely got in there and got that win. Way too close to call. Hunter was right there with him. And wow, by inches, it's going to be Kieran Adams out of K&J Motorsports and the Incredible Hulk moving on to the next round. What a great night of racing it's been so far here in round one. But coming up next, first here in the near lane is Tim Cantwell, the cowboy from hell out of Wild West Racing driving Bounty Hunter. He is hungry for a win here tonight, but he is set to take on Savvy Zilogy out of Renegade Bros Racing driving the Black Pearl. She's looking for her first flag here tonight too. Both drivers looking to take it to the second round, waiting on the green light. And Bounty Hunter gets out to a slight lead. Black Pearl is chasing him down, but nonetheless, it's going to be Bounty Hunter moving on to round two. What a good effort from Savvy over there, but it's going to be Tim Cantwell moving on to round two. What a race. The racing night's just incredible. That jump off the line was all he needed. Tim Cantwell gets it done. And coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got the former one-time Midwest Madness champion Ethan Wagner driving Wild Hair. He won Sudden Impact a couple months ago. He's looking for his second championship here tonight. But he is set to take on Caden Prizek out of Chaos Motorsports driving Predator over there in the far lane, who has his hands full. He's taking on a former one-time champion here in round one. And Wild Hair gets to jump off the line, but he rolls over the bus stack, and Caden Prizek and Predator comes from behind and gets the win. What a turn of events there. Wild Hair had a huge lead. Let's see what happened. Wild Hair had a huge lead off the line, but the truck shoots out off the launch ramp to the right, and he just can't save it. What a crazy rollover for Ethan. Giving room for Caden to come back and get the win. Wow. Predator is moving on. And heading down to the track, the Midwest Madness track crew is down there to flip over Ethan Wagner and Wild Hair. He had a great lead over Predator, and something might have broke on the truck off the launch ramp, but nonetheless, Ethan is doing all right. Wild Hair will be back. What an awesome matchup we got here. Probably two of the most accomplished drivers in Midwest Madness history. First in the near lane is Jalen Buford out of Chaos Motorsports, the one-time Midwest Madness champion, driving the USA 1 Chevrolet. He is set to take on the four-time Midwest Madness champion, Nugget, driving Gravedigger, who's also the 2022 Midwest Madness Driver of the Year. Two former champs looking for a spot in round two. And USA 1 gets a jump off the line. Gravedigger's coming back. And they finished at the finish line, door handle to door handle. Nugget and Gravedigger cannot be denied. It looked like Jalen had that race in the bag, but too close. Gonna have to check the replay. USA 1 gets a strong start off the line, but Gravedigger might have made up the ground and came back. Wow. Never count out Nugget and Gravedigger. And yes, he did. Wow. What an effort by Gravedigger. He is moving on to round two. Ever so slightly. What a great run by both trucks. But it's going to be Gravedigger moving on to round two. Wow. Coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got Austin Wagner driving Cyclops. He made it to the Final Four a couple months ago. He is set to take on Peanut driving the Maximum Destruction over there in the blue lane. Both drivers hungry for a spot in round two. And they're even off the line, maybe a slight lead to Cyclops, but Peanut makes up a lot of ground and gets some huge air over there in the far lane. Another great race. Wow. Everybody's going for it here tonight. Look at that. A slight bobble for Maximum Destruction, giving the lead to Cyclops, but Peanut makes a lot of ground up over that huge jump over the bus, and he picks up the come from behind win. Wow, what a race. Peanut Maximum Destruction is moving on. And up next, first here in the near lane, we got Charles Stevens driving the Blue Thunder. He made it to the finals back in February. He is set to take on Megan Prizek out of Chaos Motorsports, driving the awesome-looking Heartbreaker over there in the far lane. She made it to the Final Four a couple months ago as well. Both drivers are hungry for a round one win. And Blue Thunder gets to jump off the line ever so slightly, and he holds it all the way through. Heartbreaker got some pretty big air over there in the far lane, and it might have cost her the race. What a run by both trucks. Charles Stevens looked like he got it. Let's take a look at the replay. Barely gets to jump off the line there with Blue Thunder. And Heartbreaker was starting to make up a lot of ground, but pops a sky wheelie in the far lane and cost her the race. Charles Stevens moving on. A blast from the past and a matchup straight out of 1993. First in the near lane is Emily Graham out of Renegade Bros Racing, driving the Dodge Barefoot. She is set to take on Rich Wagner over there in the blue lane, driving his brand new ride, the Thunder Chicken. He made it to the Final Four last month, looking to build on his success. And Thunder Chicken gets off the line first. Barefoot makes up a lot of ground. Both trucks get out of shape over the bus deck, and I'm not sure who got the win. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Too close to call. Barefoot made up a lot of ground, but both trucks got out of shape. It's just impossible to call. Thunder Chicken gets the slight lead off the line there. Right there, Barefoot makes up a lot of ground, but Rich Wagner gathers it together a little sooner than Emily and gets the win. What a close race that was. Rich Wagner barely is moving on to round two. What an insane night of racing it's been so far. But coming up next, first in the near lane is Mike Council driving the WCW Nitro machine. He is set to take on Corey Marvin over there in the blue lane, driving the Northern Nightmare. Both trucks have been on the brink of a breakthrough, waiting on the green light. And Nitro Machine gets out to a slight lead. Corey Marvin gets some huge air in the far lane. Another close race, ladies and gentlemen. Another close race. If I had to guess, I'd say Nitro Machine, but we got to check the replay. Both trucks get off the line identically. Nitro Machine starts to pull ahead, and that might have been enough. Marvin had a great effort there in the far lane. Nitro Machine gets off the line first, barely. Gets a little crooked there at the end of the launch ramp, but nonetheless, Mike Council and the WCW Nitro Machine picks up the win and is moving on to round 2. So close. Another awesome race coming up. First in the near lane is Aaron Church driving his brand new blue Bakugan Dragonoid. He's looking to break that truck in with a huge win here tonight, but he is set to take on Steve Bad of the Bones Jones out of Team MTA driving Carolina Crusher. He's the reason all these races are happening, the creator of Diecast Monster Truck Racing, if you ask me. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Aaron gets off the line first. Steve's trying to make up the ground, gets some big air over the bus stack, but it's not going to be enough. Aaron Church with the first round upset. Let's take a look at the replay. Dragonoid gets off the line first. Steve gets a little crooked there in the far lane. Gathers it together in a good way, but it will not be enough. Aaron Church is moving on to round 2. Coming up next, first in the near lane is Chase Moyes out of Renegade Bros Racing driving the backdraft. He's hungry for a first round win here tonight, but he's got a former one-time champion in the other lane. Brian Prizek out of Chaos Motorsports driving the Monster Patrol Chevrolet. He won the Halloween event last year. Looking to take home Thrills and Spills 2 here tonight. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And backdraft has a slight lead. Monster Patrol's making up a lot of ground. They finished the finish line pretty close. Too close to call. If I had to call it, I'd say backdraft barely, but let's take a look at the replay. Backdraft gets off the line ever so slightly. Monster Patrol gets some good air in the far lane, but it will not be enough. Chase Moyes and backdraft is moving on to round 2. Coming up next, we got 2 Midwest Madness veterans going at it here in round 1. First in the near lane is Jason Craddock driving the El Toro Loco. He is staged and ready to go, set to take on the former one-time Midwest Madness champion Bradley Graham out of Renegade Bros Racing driving Clydesdale. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And they're even off the line. El Toro Loco starting to pull ahead. And Jason Craddock and El Toro Loco is moving on to round 2. He holds the lead all the way through. Bradley Graham was right there with him. But it's going to be El Toro Loco. Barely sliding ahead and getting the win there. What a close race. It's going to be by half a tire. But El Toro Loco moves on. And coming up next to close out one of the best first rounds of racing in Midwest Madness history, we got a rematch from February and one of the craziest results we've ever seen. There you see Rudy Zilogy and Rage gets to jump off the line, but rolls over right before the finish line, and Raelyn, Mullins, and Medusa came from behind to get the win. But it is rematch time. First in the near lane is Raelyn Mullins driving the Medusa Ford. She's looking to make it 2-0 on the current champion, but she's set to take on the reigning and defending Midwest Madness champion Rudy Zilogy out of Renegade Bros Racing driving Rage. He's looking for some revenge here in round 1. He's got his hands full. And Rage gets off the line first, but Medusa makes up a lot of ground. They come across the finish line pretty close. Just too close to call. I've seen crazier results. Did Medusa make up the ground on the current champ? We'll find out soon. Let's check the replay. What a jump off the line by Rage. Medusa made up a lot of ground, but it will not be enough. The jump off the line is all Rudy needed to hold the lead all the way through. Wow. What a good effort by Raelyn. She was right there with him. Barely losing out to the champion. She will be back. Rudy Zilogy's taking that flag in round 2. Barely. One of the closest races of the night. Coming up next, if this second round is anything like the first, buckle up. First in the near lane is Spooky driving the Mystery Machine. He looked great in round 1. better than he's ever looked on the track. He is set to take on the sassy Southern Belle, Krista Roberts out of Wild West Racing, driving Scarlet Bandit over there in the far lane. Both drivers looked awesome in the first round. Spotting third rounds on the line. And Krista Roberts gets a slight lead, but gets crossed up on the middle car stack, giving room for Spooky to slide by and get the win. Spooky and the Mystery Machine is moving on to round 3. Wow. Krista Roberts had a big lead. Looked like she was about to grab the win there, but gets crossed up over the middle car stack. And Spooky gets the win. What a race. What a result. Coming up next, first in the near lane is the Gunslinger, rolling Cantwell out of Wild West Racing, driving the Iron Outlaw. He looked great in round 1, but he is set to take on the former one-time Midwest Madness champion Shaggy, Matt Cheever, driving Gravedigger the Legend. He rolled the truck over back in the first round. He's got some body damage, but his team's got that truck back to the line. And he's hungry to take it to round 3, waiting on the green light. And both trucks are even off the line, fighting back and forth. Impossible to call. Impossible. Both trucks were going for it all the way through, even from the start to the finish. Wow. Both trucks get off the line identically. And Matt Cheever might have pulled ahead at the end. They were even all the way through, but Matt Cheever barely gets ahead at the end and gets the win. Wow. It doesn't get any closer than that. First up here in the near lane, we got Tim Cantwell, the cowboy from hell out of Wild West Racing, driving Bounty Hunter. He is set to take on Kieran Adams out of K&J Motorsports, driving the Incredible Hulk. Both trucks look really good tonight. Taking each other on for a spot in the third round, waiting on the green light. And they're even down the stretch, but Bounty Hunter powers through at the end, has a perfect run, and I think edged it out there. The Incredible Hulk had a great run too. They get off the line at about the same time, but Bounty Hunter stays straight. The Incredible Hulk gets a little bobbled up, and that's all it took. Tim Cantwell is moving on. Coming up next, we got a 1993 Monster Wars matchup. First in the near lane is Caden Prizek out of Chaos Motorsports, driving Predator. He is staged and ready to go, set to take on the 2022 Midwest Madness Driver of the Year, the 4-time Midwest Madness champion Nugget, driving Gravedigger. Caden's looking for a big upset here in round 2. Nugget's looking to advance to round 3 and search for championship number 5. And both trucks are off the line identically, but Gravedigger gets crossed up over the middle of the track, and that might have gave enough room for Caden Prizek to pull off the biggest upset of the night. Let's take a look at the replay to confirm. You can never count Nugget out. Both trucks get off the line at a great start there. Gravedigger got crossed up, and that's just so close. Door to door at the finish line. Such a close race. Predator might have barely edged it out, but it's going to be a draw. Wow, what a race. Both trucks are coming back to the starting line. And the result of a draw, both drivers are coming back to the starting line. The 4-time champion Nugget and Gravedigger is now staged in the red lane. And Caden Prizek and Predator staged over there in the blue lane. A spot in the third round awaits the winner. Waiting on the green light. Gravedigger gets off the line first, and he holds it all the way through. Caden Prizek and Predator goes end over end in the far lane, trying to chase down the Gravedigger, but it will not be enough. Nugget and Gravedigger is moving on to round 3. Let's take a look at the replay. Both drivers have a good run, but Caden Prizek goes end over end in the far lane. Let's take one more look at it here. What a close race. Predator was cutting him no slack, but Caden's night is over. The Midwest Madness track crew is down there to flip over Caden Prizek and Predator. He gave everything he had to chase down Gravedigger, but it just was not enough tonight. What an effort. Caden Prizek will be back. Coming up next, we got a classic early 2000s Monster Jam matchup. First in the near lane is Charles Stevens driving the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder. He is staged and ready to go, set to take on Peanut over there in the far lane driving the Maximum Destruction. Both drivers looking for a spot in round 3. And Maximum Destruction gets the early lead, but Blue Thunder comes from behind and picks up the win. Max D got bobbled up at the end of the ramp there, giving room for Charles Stevens and Blue Thunder to move on to round 3. Coming up next, we got another good one. First in the near lane is Mike Council driving the WCW Nitro machine. He looked good in round 1. He's set to take on Rich Wagner driving his brand new Thunder Chicken over there in the blue lane. Both drivers waiting on the green light. And Nitro Machine gets off the line first, but Thunder Chicken makes up the ground, and they finish side by side at the finish line. What a close race. Gonna have to check the replay. Nitro Machine gets a jump off the line ever so slightly, but Thunder Chicken made up a lot of ground there. Still can't call it. Right there, Nitro Machine got bobbled up just a little bit, and it might have gave enough room for Thunder Chicken to come from behind. And it did. By a quarter tire, Rich Wagner and Thunder Chicken's moving on. Up next, first here in the near lane, we got Chase Moyes out of Renegade Bros Racing driving the backdraft. He's taking on Aaron Church out of the blue lane, driving his brand new blue Bakugan Dragonoid. Both drivers staged. And the Dragonoid gets a slight jump off the line. Backdraft almost gets into him mid-track. Puts it to a stop. They might have made slight contact, but Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid picks up the round 2 win. Dragonoid got off the line ever so slightly first. Backdraft crosses the track and barely avoids getting in Aaron Church, but the Dragonoid is moving on. Coming up next to close out round 2. First here in the near lane, we got Jason Craddock driving El Toro Loco. He has his hands full. He is set to take on the reigning and defending Midwest Madness champion Rudy Zilogy out of Renegade Bros Racing driving Rage. And Rage gets a jump off the line. El Toro Loco's coming back. Wow, what a race. Neither driver was backing down. Too close to call. Wow. There you see Rage barely gets to jump off the line, but El Toro Loco makes up the ground right there. They're dead even. But Rage barely snuck the tire in there, I think, and got the win. Wow, what a race. One of the closest of the night so far. What a good effort from Jason Craddock. He was right there with him. Rage is moving on. Kicking off the 3rd round. This is going to be a fun matchup here. Nephew versus uncle. First in the near lane, we got Spooky driving the Mystery Machine. He has struggled on the circuit so far, but tonight he has looked absolutely perfect. He is set to take on his uncle Shaggy, Matt Cheever driving Gravedigger the Legend, who is a one-time Midwest Madness champion. Doesn't get any better than this. Waiting on the green light. And Mystery Machine gets a jump off the line, but Gravedigger the Legend makes up the ground, and they finish door to door. Cannot call it. What a race. Wow. That is the theme of the night so far. It does not get any closer than that. Mystery Machine early, but Gravedigger the Legend late. Right about there, Matt Cheever starts to make up the ground. Still too close to call. They crossed the line door to door. But Matt Cheever picks up the win by a quarter tire. Wow, what a race. He's moving on to the semifinals. And coming up next, first here in the near lane, we got Tim Cantwell, the cowboy from hell, out of Wild West Racing, driving Bounty Hunter. He is on a mission here tonight, but he is set to take on the 4-time Midwest Madness champion, Nugget, driving Gravedigger, who's the 2022 Driver of the Year. He won Thrills and Spills last year, looking to win it this year. And Gravedigger gets a jump off the line, but Bounty Hunter comes from behind and picks up the huge upset win. Nugget and Gravedigger got crossed up, giving room for Tim Cantwell and Bounty Hunter to come through and pick up the win. He is moving on to the semifinals. A battle of Chevy versus Ford. First in the near lane, we got Charles Stevens driving the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder. That's an awesome looking truck. He is set to take on Rich Wagner driving his brand new Thunder Chicken over there in the blue lane. Rich has looked great tonight. He made it to the Final Four last month, looking to replicate that here tonight. And he gets the lead off the line. Charles is trying to chase him down, but Thunder Chicken gets the win by, I'd say, a half a truck. Wow. A good effort from Charles there. Let's take a look at the replay. Thunder Chicken barely gets to jump off the line, and that's all he needed. He's moving on to the semifinals. Coming up next to close out the third round, it is time to defend the flag. First in the near lane, we got the reigning and defending Midwest Madness champion Rudy Zilogy out of Renegade Bros Racing driving Rage. He is set to take on Aaron Church driving his brand new Bakugan Dragonoid. He is debuting that truck here tonight, looking to take it to the semifinals. He's got the champ here in round 3. And they're even off the line, but Bakugan Dragonoid goes end over end across the finish line. Rage was right there with him. What a race. Aaron Church giving everything he had to pick up the win there. He might have just got it. Yes, Aaron Church crosses the line first, but at what cost? Heading down to the track, the Midwest Madness track crew's down there to flip over Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid. He did pick up the win over the champion, Rudy Zilogy and Rage, but there you see some pretty heavy body damage. If for whatever reason Dragonoid cannot make it back next round, Rage will come back. But it's a race against the clock for Aaron Church. Kicking off the semifinals here at Midwest Madness Thrills and Spills. We are down to 4. First in the near lane, we got Tim Cantwell, the cowboy from hell, out of Wild West Racing, driving Bounty Hunter. He's looking to take Bounty Hunter to his second final here at Midwest Madness, but he's set to take on the one-time Midwest Madness champion, Shaggy, Matt Cheever, driving Gravedigger the Legend, who's looking for championship number 2 here tonight. And they're even off the line, but Matt Cheever gets on 2 wheels going over the bus stack. And Tim Cantwell and Bounty Hunter moves on to his second final here at Midwest Madness. What a tough break for Shaggy. Let's see what happened. Both trucks get off the line virtually identical. Maybe a slight lead to Bounty Hunter, but Matt Cheever gets on 2 wheels there and hits the bus stack on 2 wheels. What a crazy rollover in the far lane. Wow. Bounty Hunter's moving on. A spot in the finals awaits the winner. First, here in the near lane, we got Rich Wagner driving his brand new ride, the Thunder Chicken. This is his second straight month making it to the Final Four. He's looking to take it to the finals here tonight. And he's set to take on Aaron Church, driving the blue Bakugan Dragonoid, his brand new ride staged over there in the blue lane. The winner takes on Bounty Hunter here in the finals. They're even down the stretch. Both trucks cut a good light, but Bakugan Dragonoid pulls ahead at the end strong and takes the clear victory. Aaron Church is moving on to his first final here at Midwest Madness Thrills and Spills 2. Good effort from Rich Wagner. Well, it all comes down to this. We started with 32 trucks and we have worked our way down to 2. Both drivers are in their preferred lanes. Neither truck has been in the other lane all night long. First, in the near lane, we got Tim Cantwell, the cowboy from hell, out of Wild West Racing, driving Bounty Hunter. He's set to take on Aaron Church over there in the blue lane, driving his brand new blue Bakugan Dragonoid. There you see some damage to the truck he rolled over a couple rounds ago. Both drivers have looked unstoppable all night long. Something's got to give. And they're even off the line, fighting back and forth. And they finished at the finish line close. That's too close to call. What a race. Wouldn't expect anything less. Both trucks have looked so good all night long. It all comes down to this. Let's see how it went. Both drivers get off the line at the exact same time. Tim Cantwell pulled a little ahead in no man's land, but Aaron Church looked like he might have got the win over the bus stack there. Even all the way through. Bounty Hunter starts to pull ahead right there, but Aaron Church comes from behind at the end and picks up the win. He is now a one-time Midwest Madness champion. What an awesome night of racing. Definitely our best yet. Congratulations to Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid on claiming your first championship. And we will see everyone next time, late June, for Midwest Madness High Stakes. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Congratulations to Aaron Church and the Bakugan Dragonoid. Also, if anyone is looking to get in on a truck and race here on the circuit, we host registration once a month on our Midwest Madness Facebook page. I will post a link in the comments below. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I've been your host, Mitch Brown, and we will see everyone next month. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.